What is your book The Bizarre and Enchanting Life about?
My book is an autobiography, all about all the beings I met from another world, the miracles I have witnessed and the characters I have met, and there have been many. I see things other people don't see, of things to come and secrets soon to tell.
What do you intend to do here on Earth? Will it be different from how you intended it to be?
I am here to effect and facilitate a transition, the change in the way we live, from a dystopia to a utopia. We will depend on each other for our mutual emotional prosperity.
How do you intend to go about that exactly?
I have already done most of the preparation. I have written thousands of letters to politicians, newspapers, magazines, psychic societies and many others besides. Making prophecy and speaking of my thoughts and ideas.
Do you intend to lead people, and if you do, what kind of a leader will you be?
I will not lead people, my will shall be done by Claire, my pacifying agent.
Who is Claire to you?
Claire was a man 2,000 years ago. She was my son then. Those annoying Romans hung her on a cross. A lot of people blame me, but I was unable to do anything. Also, I am not as pure as a lot people think I am. Just think of me as a man who can, rather than God. I am this planet and it is alive. This planet, like any other, is made of matter. According to Einstein, energy is equal to mass. You are sitting on a living being. I am not the universe, just a representative of the universal entity.
If you are the closest thing to God in this world, surely you can perform miracles.
I have been hypnotized upon becoming one with this body. I am in a limited state of consciousness so that I may suffer and learn of misery and pain. Soon I will develop and become pretty powerful. I will feel everything all over this world.
Is there anyone special to you?
Rachel is the only truly special one to me. It's been 29 years since I have seen her and I seem to miss her more and more each day. I've written so many poems about her. Though she would not like me to talk about it here or at all. She gets sick of being called beautiful, as she is. She wants to be treated as a human being.
You've written many lines of philosophy. Which are your favorite three?
Mankind shall know the strength of my will, and the power of my breath shall move mountains. Then, my fame will come like the calm before the storm, when it rains it shall rain love. And thirdly, stick in people's memories and you will live forever.
What do you expect the world to do when you're famous?
The pattern and the dates of my moving about and those of Claire are inextricably linked and will give me credit for the things I have said. World debt will be cancelled, global prices will be frozen, although you will continue to pay your bills with government support where necessary.
If you are so different in your mind, does that not make you the alien?
On the contrary, you are more alien than myself, if that makes any sense. I am this world. Humanity originated from a different planet.
If you were an alien, wouldn't you look very different?
It's my mind that's alien. Soon I will feel everyone and everything. Also, many of my colleagues from different planets look like you and me. They colonized this planet many thousands of years ago.
Which planet do your colleagues come?
My colleagues originated from a planet similar to our own. They were placed there by the universal entity, the collective consciousness of the universe, of which I'm a very small part.
If your friends came from a different planet, they must be very advanced to have gotten here. Why do they make life so tough if they are so advanced?
If it were not for the darkness of night, would appreciate the light of the day. I know it's not very pleasant to treat people this way, but all the murders, all the pain, all the suffering are carefully engineered so that love can mean something in comparison to the hate.
Does that mean all that is bad is really good for the world?
Absolutely not. Bad will always be bad, but the contrast will keep people alive for eternity with all the pleasure you can cope with.
If you are part of the universal entity, does that not make you godly?
I am as vulnerable to the corruption of sin as the next person. I am human for now, with a truly dynamic lifestyle and a wealth of emotion.
If you are above all these elite people, doesn't that make you a bad person?
I consider myself a great man, and most great people are part bad. However, I am not responsible for any of my elite's actions. I am in a state of limited awareness, as are most people. I will develop through the attention I get for helping mankind. It will stimulate my mind, pulling me this way and that, ultimately leading me to have the capacity to formulate the grand unified field theory, unifying the theories of general and quantum theory.
Could you tell us in more detail about both theories?
The current theories don't add up. Quantum theory defies logic. It states that a particle can be in two places at once, which is what gave rise to the parallel universes theory. Yet quantum theory is thought to be proven to a very high degree, and the same is true for general relativity. Scientists say that they must correlate, and they don't. In 1919, Einstein, who was already famous, shot to mega fame when it was shown that gravity could curve space, and subsequently that space told matter where to go. In 1919 there was an eclipse of the sun, As Einstein had surmised, the light from the stars was distorted from their position in space. Einstein was ironically one of the founding fathers of quantum physics. He did not agree with it. He called it spooky action at a distance. Gravity to be quantum, there would have to be graviton force particles, and when they emit they would surely distort space-time. The distortion would lead to further distortion of space-time and so on. When I develop, my intelligence will know no ceiling.
Do your associates have other planets that they have colonized?
Yes, so they have told me. There are millions of them, although really we have only just started. We have not even inhabited 1/4 of 1% of all that we have planned for. Only those that have seen my mind in its woken state know the secrets of the universe. Most of us live in artificial space stations off-world.
How would you respond to those who find your world scary?
There is nothing to be afraid of. The elite have spent many years instilling you with fear, as is their way of looking after you all. It's so you can have something to live for. Imagine how boring life would be if nothing ever happened, if sin never took place. Once more, I would like to remind everyone that I don't make up the rules.
Are you saying that there are no aliens in a sense, that ETs are just humans?
There are a ridiculous number of alien species just in this galaxy, none that are significantly more advanced than us. Some of them are more intelligent than the average human. When they wake, they opt to be human, for when this existence is over they are, some might say, better equipped to enjoy life. However, there are a few that prefer to remain the likes of dolphins or chimps. I don't yet know how advanced a species has to be sentient.
What is the astral plane you speak of in your book?
The astral plane is a non-physical realm. In this place I can vaguely recall watch history unfurl beneath me, something most don't seem to remember. I think this is where all spirits hang out before coming down to the earth plane. The astral plane is a non-physical realm. In this place I can vaguely recall watching history unfurl beneath me, something most don't seem to remember. I think this is where all spirits hang out before coming down to the earth plane.
You have been to 14 colleges. What possessed you to go to so many of these institutions?
To make the world a better place, you have to be intellectually curious to the extreme. It wins admiration and encourages influence.
Why do you go to such extremes, playing chess for 14 hours or more every day? Or learning French for 14 hours a day or more, or the same with Scrabble? Spending £700 on aftershave? Or socializing all day long, going to 6 or 7 groups in a day, clubs and pubs, other times 6 or 7 flats in a day?
Think of the figurehead I'm going to be. It would be boring if I were a couch potato.
Tell me about the dates of your moving about. You say you have had little effect, that the dates are largely a manipulation on your behalf. If you rely on your elite, doesn't that mean you have no power over them?
For now the elite control me, but now that I am closer to my end goal they show a measured amount of respect. Soon my mind will be the supreme power in this world.
You say you will save the world for a smile from Rachel Crime's face. That's rather gallant of you, don't you think?
I have always been that way, with the ladies and the weaker kids in school. Above all, my gallancy is for Rachel. I will save the human race on many levels. But I will do it largely to win her admiration.
What is the technological asymptote?
The point on a graph where the line exponential increase reaches a limit and goes no higher or further along the x or the y axis.
When everything is understood, won't that make life a little boring?
This experience we have now is not life. Soon you will find out what life is for: joy, love and pleasure.
What are the practical applications of quantum physics?
Quantum physics gave rise to the internet and the integrated circuits and the power generation of the future.
Scientists in quantum physics research already have the largest machine in the world. Why do they need a bigger one?
Scientists wish to go deeper into the field of research and find out more about dark matter and dark energy. Dark energy appears to be what's driving the galaxies apart at an ever-increasing rate. And dark matter, which appears to be in the universe as much as 5 times more than normal matter, which appears to keep galaxies held in together.
You speak of mind melding being a pleasure, and that once people realize what it is, it will be everything to them. Describe what it's like.
Mind melding is a beautiful thing. I call it ecstasy of the mind, but you will not fully appreciate it until woken. Forget Star Trek and Dr. Spock, think Cocoon. I shall develop, whereas you shall wake. One of our differences. The main difference might be that I can be in more places than one at the same time. Actually, I can be in billions of places simultaneously.
What is the point of the ISS? Why is so much money spent on it?
Many experiments are performed in the ISS, such as 3D organ printing, testing drugs, material science, and endurance for space travel.
What keeps the International Space Station in orbit around the Earth with no gravity?
Gravity has its effect everywhere, and it may surprise you, but there are only 3 or 4% difference between the gravity on Earth and that of the ISS in space. The reason there appears to be no gravity is that the ISS is constantly falling towards Earth, but is moving so fast that it never comes down.
Explain Einstein's special relativity thought experiment.
Einstein imagined a train pulling out of a station. He thought that the faster the train went, the longer it would take for the light to reach Earth, and therefore time would appear to go slower. As he would approach the speed of light, time would appear to come to a standstill.
You say that everyone will self-actualize at approximately the same time. What is self-actualization?
Self-actualization is the pinnacle of Maslow's needs hierarchy. He was a famous psychologist.
How can you have compassion for evildoers?
If you are ill-treated, then that is what you learn. Criminals have very little say in their actions. They are wise in their own way, though that is not a compliment. They see the world differently.
Is the universe infinite?
I can't see everything yet, although I feel that the universe is both infinite and finite at the same time. If you continue in a straight line for perhaps trillions of years at the speed of light, you end up back at the point you left. An idea that makes no sense, although neither does quantum physics. So the world of the small and the large have that same irony. Time, I feel, has another irony about it. Time in a way is an illusion. The dinosaurs are still in existence. There is no past or future. We are all in heaven now, although we just can't see it yet. If you were to go back in so-called time far enough, say for a few trillion years, you would end up in the so-called future. You had a beginning. You are all the same age. You all began around the same time, outside the physical realm. Although I have an escape route from this constant cycle, and you can all come. Heaven isn't a change in place, it's a change in state of mind.
How much do the elite actually know?
Knowledge being a convenience term, for nobody truly has knowledge. Even my knowledge will be based on feelings. The elite know everything on this planet, although they don't know what it's like to live on other planets or many of the universe's secrets. There are a few people here who have seen me in my woken state on different planets. They are all pretty excited about the transition that we are about to undergo.
What do you think of evolution?
Evolution is a myth. Charles Darwin didn't know much about the cell, the basic building blocks of living organisms. Not much was known about the cell at that time. A cell is more complex than a jumbo jet, and yet smaller than the eye could see. There is no way that we could evolve without a helping hand.
What are your thoughts on the universe being a mind?
That's about the size of it. Yes, the universe is a mind. If you imagine a galaxy being a cell, then I am just an atom, or maybe even an electron. Like evolution, the universe has its own conveniences. All the forces of nature are very, very finely tuned for the shape it has taken and the organisms that it is host to. The weak and the strong nuclear forces, the electromagnetic force and gravity. Gravity is by far the weakest force. It is so obvious due to there being so many trillions of tons of it beneath our feet.
Why did the universe create us?
It got lonely, so like anyone, it had no choice. You were created to love one another. You will all be one in mind, although you will have nothing to do with people you hate. Throughout history you have had different bodies, some of you many.
What will humanity respond like, do you think, when the world is healed?
The non-elite will be ecstatic, something I think the elite envy because they already know what to expect. They can heal people but are limited to one at a time. I have no limitations.
You speak of controlling the media as though it's an orchestra. How can you yield such power?
The letters that I have written will provoke a response of individuals and in society, and often counter-responses. I don't want to say too much more in case it causes something not to happen. I have spent years in limited awareness preparing for the newspapers. Soon it will be time to enjoy the fruits of my endeavors.
When you referred to your playing cards, what did you actually mean?
The cards are letters that I have written to provoke a response of individuals and in society, and often counter-responses. I don't want to say too much more in case it causes something not to happen.
Are you ready to be humanity's rock for eternity? It's a big ask, isn't it?
I came to this world with an obligation. Everything I have suffered has been engineered so that I may have empathy for you, not sympathy, because sympathy is lame. It means that you feel sorry for someone. Empathy means you can understand another's emotions or pain.
Why do we have to wait to look any different?
If everyone looked like as they wanted, then some people would claim to be someone they are not.
You've spoken of cognitive dissonance. What is it and how does it relate to you?
Cognitive dissonance is when opposing concepts occur in the same mind, causing conflict. I feel gallant in defense of appearing great. I get a subsequential kick out of being the victor, but at the same time I find the whole thing rather barbaric. Since this body was 5, I have been aware of being able to see things other people could not. In a relatively limited state of consciousness I began to influence people around me as my elite who called themselves my guardian angels made very vague suggestions. They generally left me alone after 6. And even when they used to talk to me they would only do it outside the primary school gates. They used to say things like please do things for mankind, of course if you do nothing we can sort it all out, or one of them said how can a man have so much effect with letters, another said we have so many people in your world from our world that you can't fail. It didn't seem like they could handle things on their own, so I spent my life chasing a dream. There was another message in my early teens. A man came up to me and said you will be thanked early on in your life from God. I thought how as was walking away, then he turned around and drew a figure 8 with his hands. I have no idea what he meant by that.
You say that on the last day you will go back to prison. Why and how will you get there?
I shall teleport from the building built for me in New York and end up in prison, after having spent 10 days in Central Park. On the last day, probably back in the one I was in last, I can't be 100% sure. I will go there to give hope to all those incarcerated across the world.
What about those scared of change?
It's natural to be scared of change. When I achieve fame I shall alleviate your fears. Fame is not something I need, nor do I dread it. It's par for the course, it's something the world needs.
What did your grandfather mean to you?
He was a very strong man. He was headstrong and forthright. He was a tower of strength. He was used to giving out the orders in his places of work. He was a boss in Octel, a petrochemical company that used to put the lead in petrol. Also he was a captain in the army, the Royal Engineers Regiment. I was very sad when he died.
You say in your book that your being here was a stroke of good fortune, due to your grandfather's downfall. What happened?
He fell off his bike and could not go to battle, and it was thought that he might have been killed during the Second World War. I was in infant school. Whilst outside the school gates a man told me that I might notice a change that night. I was lying in bed and the room darkened. I got up, drew back the curtains, and change from night to day was rapid. Night to day, night to day, night to day. It appeared that I had traveled backwards through time by about a fortnight. No one in school would believe it the next day.
What was teleportation like?
I walked round the block from where I lived. I encountered an old lady who asked me what I was doing. She asked me to follow her. I walked around to her house just around the block to a house opposite from my infant school. She sat me down in her back garden. She said this is a future place and I should take my people here to safety. I would know when the time was right. Then she said stand up and walk towards the trees at the bottom of the garden, and in their place would appear the shops from round where you live. As soon as I took my first step I was there, much to my confusion.
What makes your memory so good?
My memory is not normal, I admit. My short-term memory may be slightly impaired, but my long-term memory is better than average, much better, largely due to my being highly strung emotionally.
Once we go to heaven, does everything remain constant?
The only thing constant will be change.
What was it like to kiss so many women in Birkenhead?
It made me very happy.
Do you worry about climate change?
Rather than burning to death, it's more likely we are heading towards an ice age. We are in an interglacial period that can last thousands of years. The sea levels have risen on average 1 millimeter a decade. Also, carbon dioxide is only responsible for 1% of global warming. The only significant change is more greenery. And anyway, we will live in heaven soon.
Do you worry about chaos in society?
I don't worry. If you listen to hearsay, gossip and rumors, you are all in doom. If you listen to the learned, we are quite safe. Extreme poverty has decreased over the past to about half in the last and a half decades. Crime is at an all-time low globally. The world is much more civilized, but admittedly we are living in an ever more dangerous world. The world has some major problems, but they are nothing Claire and I can't handle. Thank you for listening. Hang on in there, mankind.